I know the love that I'm giving off in the world and that I want to put into my son, but damn it, like I don't want him to have to go through this.
These are raw and honest conversations with dads of all races, religions, backgrounds, bring light our differences, but also our similarities. We're just dads trying to do our best. Today on the show, we have Broadway star Joshua Henry. You've seen him in Shuffle Along, Hamilton, Carousel, Scottsboro Boys, and recently on the Apple TV show See, starring opposite Jason Momoa. So here is my conversation with Joshua Henry. Josh Henry, thank you for being on Dadding While Black. I really appreciate it, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to great. I'm just breathing with every moment. Trying not to look at my phone as much.
Yeah. Do you find it hard right now to say that you're doing good?
You know, that's a great question because there are moments where I am doing good. And there are moments when I'm just crying and, you know, my wife's got to hold me and I can't, it's hard to be around my son because I need a moment. But you know what, like I'm realizing that I have to take those moments and realize that I'm doing good. And saying that out loud is a really good thing for my spirit and for my body and for everyone around me. And, you know, you can be in the middle of a fight and step away and still realize, you know what, life is good. And that's where I find myself. I think that's where we find a lot of ourselves right now, just being like, ah. And then like the other day, I took a bath for the first time in years. I lit a candle and I put Sade music on. And I was like, you know what? It damn near brought me to tears because I was like, I haven't taken care of myself this intentionally in such a long time. So that was great.
Just taking a bath, listening to Sade.
Come on.
How can you not be good?
Must have been an angel by my side.
This is my bath with Sade, you know, in a weird way. Thank you for sharing it with me. Thank you for sharing it with me.
Hey, anytime.
I want to get into, you know, family life a little bit as well. But before that, you know, I see behind you the show poster for Carousel. In this production, you know, you're the black lead. Jessie Muller is a white woman. She plays your wife, right? Girlfriend, yeah, your wife. And there's physical violence. It was tough for me to watch, knowing what the reaction would be for white audiences, seeing a big black man being violent with a white woman.
I get that, and that was during the creative process, which was over almost a year long. That's something that I had to really wrestle with. I think the thing that I focused on the most in that production was the idea of redemption. I was thinking about the ways in which we're given a second chance in the home, you know, in our communities. That's where my purpose for doing that role lied.
You had your son, right, during that production?
Yeah, and I remember singing the song Soliloquy, which is a big 8-minute number in Carousel where, you know, this guy, Billy Bigelow, was talking about his child, his unborn child, and the good times that he's gonna have. And then he gets to the frustrations that he might have. And can he even do this? You know, there's one line that I wanna share. It just says, like a tree he'll grow with his head held high and his feet planted firm on the ground. And, you know, that's my wish for my son. And I know it's for your son and, you know, for everyone's. And I wanna fast forward to right at this moment, Rob, because I feel like as Black men, we have those same thoughts. You know, in a world where we saw with Amy Cooper's and we saw what happened with George Floyd, you know, there were moments after that where I literally was like, I know the love that I'm giving off in the world and that I want to put into my son, but damn it, like, I don't want him to have to go through this. Am I equipped enough to give him a sense of who he is and how he needs to walk through the world? It needs to be said that he matters because some people don't understand that.
What's the hardest thing about being a Black dad?
I think the concern, just not at some point you won't be around physically. I took a picture of him looking at this police car recently that was parked And it was sort of from him from behind. And, he's 3 feet tall and he's sort of just looking up at it like, wow. These blue and red lights that are shining and that seem so spectacular. And he's like, look at those lights. And I'm like, yeah, look at those lights, red and blue lights. And just the concern that he would ever have an encounter that's unfair, or that he was not protected or served in any instance, like that's the hardest part.
And you grow with that, the program that you've been running for a little while, speaking with artists about how they approach their own art, their personal art. You had a recent episode, you talked about diversity in performing.
Yes, yeah.
And the quote that you had was, checking a box and inviting diverse groups of people into a space with no support is not enough. So I guess my question is for you is, you've invited your son into a space, into this world. How do you educate and prepare him for this space?
We have written up on our wall, the values which we want to put in him. That he is loved, that he is brave, that he's honest, that he's kind, that he is strong. This is why I'm so passionate about Grow With That, because there's systemic things that need to change, and then there's things that we need to change personally. And that, for me, was what Grow With That is about. To bring more visibility and fairness to the Black community in my community. And it feels good to be more as an activist. Like you said, I've done shows from Scottsboro Boys that all celebrated the triumphs and hardships of Black people, but the art is not enough. Getting around people who value what we value and are like-minded about empathy and togetherness and peace and kindness. That's, those are the things that I try to talk to my 2-year-old about. But I'm also trying to prepare in any way that I can for when he comes of age and has to grapple with some of these things.
Well, let's end with this. What is the best thing about being a Black dad?
Yeah, well, as far as at this moment, as we're potty training him, this is silly, but it's, this is what it is. Like, we give him a piece of chocolate for going potty, and the dark chocolate looks like my skin, and I'm like, yeah, Daddy looks like chocolate. Daddy's been eating a lot of chocolate. So that's just a really silly thing. But I think the best thing about being a Black dad is I'm made of resilience. I'm made of strength. I'm made of prosperity. I'm limitless. That's the history of my people, and being able to impart that, is a blessing.
You are preparing your son for this space very well, sir.
Thanks, man. And I'm sure you are too, man. We're in this together.
All right, Josh. Well, it's been a pleasure, man.
Love you, brother.